Hi, it's you and Ellery here making bonsai in Australia, and in this video I'm going to be doing a repotting on this Brazilian cherry. So I actually grew this Brazilian cherry from a cutting, and it's actually got a couple of little root cuttings that have grown when I repotted it. So yeah, I'm going to do a bit of a repotting to this and put these little small cuttings into their own pot. Now I do have another Brazilian cherry that I've done a couple of videos on, so you can check out one of the latest videos in the link just above, but I'm not giving that one a repruning, mostly based on the fact that look, when I repotted it last, there was not the best root system, so it's likely that I'll do a bit of an exposed root style with it, and the foliage on it is very high up on the trunk, so I'm hoping that I'll get some shoots lower down so that when I repot it next I can do a bit of a pruning and prune it back down to a bit of taper and get some of the foliage a lot lower down on the trunk. So we'll see how we go with that. So I'm going to do a bit of pruning on this now. It's also not typically the best time to be repotting. It is just at the start of autumn. But yeah, given that it's in Queensland, we get quite warm up here and it's still very, very warm. We had just a 40 degrees Celsius day just yesterday. So that being the case, it's still got plenty of good growing season for this to develop and recover before it hits winter. So anyway, I'll get into this now. So I'm not really going to do anything drastic with these. I'm really just going to throw it back into its other pot. Yeah, see how that ends up. So yeah, one very, very small one there, and this one, so I'm just going to duck these outside, water them, and then move back to this. So the soil was actually incredibly dry. It doesn't seem to be getting a lot of water where I've got it, which isn't ideal for these, so I've just put those other small ones in a place in the yard where they get quite a lot of water. So yeah, really not any big drastic roots, which is nice. Quite a lot of good feeder roots here, so yeah, not too bad to work with. I've got two big roots that are coming off on either side, which were kind of all I had the last time I repotted this. But there's a lot of feeder roots kind of coming off them, so I'm not sure if I really want to get rid of them for now. But yeah, you can see this one here, it's really large, so I'll probably just prune this one back a little bit. And yeah, I'll continue to kind of work away with that in future repottings, I suppose. But for now, I don't want to get rid of too many of these feeder roots. I want to keep as many as I can, just to keep the health of the tree. So I'm just going to prune a little bit, just so that the roots don't really kind of kick up against the edge of the pot too bad. But yeah, that should about do it for the root pruning. And yeah, so I'll just put some more soil back in this pot, repot this, and then I'll start with the top. I've got a bit of an S-bend that I've put in this trunk, which I do want to keep. There's a lot of little branches down below which I don't really need, so there's one here which is quite large and it's coming from fairly low down. I kind of want to leave some branching low down just to really start to establish a good bit of taper, so that I can prune it back, so sacrificial branches. So I will keep this one to a degree, yet I'll just prune it back just so it's not as severe for now, and that way I can kind of, continue to let that grow. It'll keep growing, keep the foliage down low, get a lot of good vigor lower down in the trunk, so I do develop that taper with time. Now similarly, I do have 3 small branches here on the side, which I won't need to use all of them. So there's one here on the inside of that curve, which I'll get rid of straight away. And there's 2 which are kind of on the outside of that curve, so I'll leave one of them. Again, just to, so there's a good bit of taper which will start to form down the bottom, and another branch a little bit further up, just so the taper is nice and even up the base of the trunk. Now up a little bit higher, again there's another big long branch which is coming out on the inside of that curve, so I'll get rid of that completely. It's starting to get a lot more refined. So this little branch, probably keep that as well, although I'll probably prune that back a little bit. And this little branch there, again, I'm gonna try and leave a fairly decent amount of foliage with these different branches at various stages of that S-bend, again just to develop that vigor and the taper. So now I could wire this back a little bit further, which I may very well do, but I don't really have any kind of secondary branch or anything to wire to, so I'm actually going to try to guy wire this off the edge of the pot. This is a very loose kind of wiring. Now, because I didn't wire this down in the pot, it's kind of pulling on the other side there a bit, pulling it a bit too far over. So I'm just going to put a secondary wire just on the opposite side here, just to hold it properly in position. So yeah, really just kind of loose functional wire, rather definitely not anything fancy whatsoever. But yeah, kind of guy wiring it with this nice thick tubing so that it's got plenty of room for it to grow. So now I've got it more or less kind of in position that I want. So now it's kind of in the position that I want it to set. Now I've got this additional branch here on the side, which I don't need, but I might again keep just a couple of leaves just to keep that bigger, not get rid of all of the branches. Well actually, there is actually 3 branches coming out of this exact same spot, so I'm gonna prune this back entirely, and this will ultimately be what I want the leader. So I'm gonna leave that, leave it completely just for that to develop. But this one here, I'm gonna leave a couple leaves on that one, just again for that taper. Now, there's pretty good taper throughout, like it's a lot thicker down below because of all the branches that have grown off on the sides. It's much thicker down below than it is up the top here, which is ideal. But I kind of do want a little bit more vigor up the top here. It is very thin at the moment, so I'll leave that to grow. Ultimately, I'll probably want a new leader kind of coming straight up from somewhere around here. So I will adjust this with time, probably prune it back, but I'm leaving it for now just to establish that figure. Because these trees do like a lot of moisture, I've actually just cut off a lot of the foliage and just placed it on top of the soil here, just to act as a good bit of mulch. And yeah, as I mentioned with those other ones, I will be leaving this in a place where it does get quite a good bit of moisture through the day. So I do have an automated watering system set up for the majority of my pre-bonsai. So yeah, that being the case, I can position trees in different areas, some of which get less water and some of which get a lot more. So I'll just put this in a place that suits it well, and hopefully it'll do quite well, and yeah, should have quite a prospective future. So look, I hope you enjoyed this video or took something from it. If If you have, then please just hit that like button and subscribe to my channel so that you're notified with my future videos as I release it. It really does help support my channel if you do. So yeah, please just make sure that you do hit that like button at least. So look, thanks for your time today. Enjoy. Bye.